Hi everyone, my name's Electronunky and today we're back on the RTS project. So in the last video I'm not going to show you, we made some nice little buttons and they work quite nicely in that they don't, when we click, they don't deselect. So they worked here, this is the draw, and here was the step. At the moment it just shows the mouse Y, we don't really need that anymore. One thing I was thinking about though is that we could probably do some different things here. So what I'm thinking is here, what we should do is a for loop instead. And the reason we can do this is so that we are actually checking whether which box we're clicking on, so to speak. So what we'll do for the moment is it'll be exactly the same as this for loop, so we can copy this whole thing. This is the draw GUI, the same thing. And the reason why that is because this is just our generic looping through units array. Okay, it's just going to loop that many times. We can tab this along, and then actually here we're going to do another if statement, and this is the one that's going to check whether, which sort of button we're pressing on, so to speak. And the way we're going to do that, I'm just going to full screen this because it's going to get pretty big. So we're going to use these constraints here, and they're pretty constant, I think. I think here we've already checked the mouse Y. So the only thing we really, the only thing we need to do is these ones. I'll just check that is that exactly the same? Yeah, okay, it is. So we have already checked here our Y, so we already know that we're in the bottom half, and the bottom half is where the box is, basically. But what we want to do is now check the X coordinates. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to say if we need to make sure we do the GUI bits as well. Instead of Y, it's going to be X is greater than this bit, which is our lower bound for our X, and we can copy this again. So our GUI mouse coordinates are less than this one, which is X2. By the way, I don't know if you guys know, there's a handy little trick to know which one you're highlighting. Like here, it's quite long and can be quite hard to know which bit you're on. At the bottom, it tells you. So we're not on Y2 yet, we're on X2. So if we copy this and put this into here, and then close that off. Okay. Now, you may be thinking, that's all well and good, what does this actually mean? Well, what this is doing is it's getting our our GUI mouse coordinates, and it's comparing them to our first box to start with, because this is a for loop. So we'll say this is, first of all, doing the first box, right? And it's saying, is it within the bounds of the first box? And if it is, then it will run this. If it's not, it'll just start the for loop again. Move on to the next box. Is it in the range of the next box? If it's not, it'll keep going until it finds the box that it's in range of. And if it's not in the range of any box, it'll just leave it. It'll just move on. So what we can do here is we can actually do I now. And that should tell us now which box we're clicking on. So if we're clicking on the box that's here, it should tell us it's 0. Okay. If we add another unit, click on this box, it should say 1. If we click somewhere in the middle, it shouldn't say anything. That's right. The only problem with this is if you click underneath it works, but it's not a huge problem. So now what we want to do is convert those into our units, so we can drop them from the list and etc. Really, that's not that hard. We can just use this units I, and that will get us the instance ID of it when we click it. So that's our first instance. See there? That's our second instance. We get 3. They're all different. They're the instance numbers of these guys. So that means now we should be able to drop one from that list, or from that array, I should say. So now in the debug message, we want to say Can't remember what it is. Array. Okay, let's say units I equals -1 or something that's null basically. And now let's give it a go. Kind of works. We can't move it once we click on it, but this doesn't go. So that's probably something we need to think about. So we need to think of a way that we could remove it and not get rid of, and get rid of it, so to speak. I'm not actually sure if there's a thing for that. I think there probably is, but it's not something I'm incredibly used to using, because normally I'll use grids instead. Let's think here. Arrays. Okay. Yeah, that could be a little bit tricky actually, if there's not a way of removing them. Yeah. We could always convert it to a DS grid. I don't know how long that would take. Could take a while. Is my concern with that. Yeah, okay, let's stop messing around. Let's turn it into a DS grid. DS list. List create. The only problem with this is we need sort of an upper bound for how many units we can have. So let's, for the moment, let's just say 100. I think that should probably do it, right? Oh, maybe not. Oh, is that list? Is that list infinite? Maybe it's just a grid that's not infinite. Okay. Now whenever we see units, we need to swap this around. So we need to get rid of that. Array 1D length. Nope. DS list. What's it called? Size. DS list size. DS list destroy units. DS list. I know this might not be the most efficient way of doing it. I know you can wipe lists, and that is a lot better. But for the moment, this will kind of work. All it'll do is you destroy it and come up with a new one. Searching for units again. I guess here we can just do that. Maybe not. DS list add units IDD. I keep forgetting that we don't need a counter if we do that. So still searching for units. Okay, that seems to be fine. Create event, fine. This won't be fine, I don't think. Maybe it will. Yeah, okay. Draw probably will be. And then we want to go into controller. I think, step in. You know what, let's just run it and see. It'll error if something's not right. Okay. So something's obviously not working, but it's not erroring either. It's not really useful. Probably in the overlay, actually. Let's minimize this a little bit. Not that. Where do we add our units? DS list, okay. I'm pretty sure it's in draw GUI. We missed something. Oh yeah, here. 1D length. So we need to swap this to be ds list size. Maybe that'll work now. A little bit better anyway. Okay, it's added loads of them. Not ideal, but yeah. Maybe what I'll do, I'll leave it for the moment. Have a look into the arrays thing. Think of a better way of doing that, or maybe just stick with the DS list. I don't know. We'll see where we go. But other than that, we are pretty much done. Once I figure that bit out, that's it. So anyway, for the moment, I'm gonna leave it here. And in the next video I'll make sure to do that and probably close off some things. But anyway, that's going to be it for this video. If you liked this video, remember to like, subscribe, what do you guys want to do, and I'll talk to you in the next one.